Hello, welcome back. My name is Claire and this is Peachy Keen Pans. Today I'm going to be updating my full face project pan. So I didn't do exactly an intro for this. I pretty much did my plan to pan at the end of last year, and now it is mid-March, so I thought it's about time to do an update. I will probably do roughly quarterly updates because I don't think my progress is going to be fast enough to justify like monthly. But yeah, I have like a really solid mix of things that are going slow and steady, and then a couple of things with like an exciting update. I have almost all the products here with me. There's just a couple that are in like handbag slash car that I am not bothered to go and get right now. So I'll just describe to you where I'm up to. So the way I've been tracking it is in my diary, which is pretty much where I track everything. Basically, I've got tally for uses. Oh yeah, and that's a bit of a spoiler, but I do have one pan, so that's fun. Okay, so firstly, the NYX Tinted Skin Veil and the Pixi Glow Booster. What I do is I mix these up together in here, and kind of whenever it's getting low, I just replenish it. Like I put maybe a 2-to-1 ratio, and I'm hoping that what that means is that I'll finish them both around the same time. It like works fine for me. Maybe I'll swatch it and show you guys what this actually looks like. Just a small amount, kind of like that. But this is like, yeah, it looks like it's too pale for me, but on the other hand, I did get a little bit tanned and a bit burnt recently on a beach trip, so my hand could be a bit darker than usual. But yeah, just kind of rubbing that in. That's roughly the shade and texture of it. Like it's pretty low coverage because I mix a base product that's already not super high coverage with a glow booster. And it works fine. Like I'm just trying to use up my stuff, and I'm keen to get rid of this because like really it's not my favorite formula. I would not repurchase. It's also a bit too it is a bit too pale for me, which is why I also put some bronzer into this little thing whenever I make it, or like brown eyeshadow, something to deepen it up a tiny bit. So yeah, I don't know how much is in these because they're both in opaque packaging. This one feels like it's getting quite light. Like if I had to guess how full this is, I would say it's maybe like up to here. That would be my estimate. Whereas this one, I feel is still maybe like half full or just below half. So maybe that I finish this one earlier than this one, but we'll see. I've used that like mixture of them 21 times so far this year. So yeah, which is less than I would expect. I wonder if I've missed a few uses, or maybe, I mean, there are occasionally days where I like would put on an under eye corrector but not a base product all over, or there would be days where I use, I guess, like just a different product or no base product. Well, obviously a lot of days with no base product. Anyway, 21 uses. And the next product is the Gingerbread Franken Bronzer. I call it that because I made this out of two shadows in the Gingerbread palette you guys would have seen last year if you watched that point. So this is how it's... It really doesn't smell like it anymore, which is kind of sad. I thought maybe it would still smell like that gingerbready smell, but it doesn't. I don't think anyway. But yeah, it's like got a lot of bits of pan in here. It is, I don't know, slow and steady, I think. It's not really showing like an intense amount of progress yet compared to where I started. If I have a photo from, roughly 3 months ago, I'll put it up. But I'm keen to finish this. The goal is to finish this. I've used it a total of 18 times in this project so far. I keep it in here with two like neutral shadows and this blush, which I'm not panning exactly this year, but I would still like to get a bit more usage on this because I was panning it last year. Okay, and then next we've got the Funfetti blush. I did get, I think, some comments asking me if the blush had like gone off because it looks a bit funny, but that is intentional. Like it's supposed to look like this, or it's supposed to look really like this half. Like that kind of modeled pattern is how it started, and then that has kind of worn off on this side because it turns out that's like an overspray or like the top layer but actually I think you can kind of, I don't know if you can see that this side still has that that splatter kind of effect, and this side it's all wearing off because that's where my brush lands more often. So yeah, I think what is happening there is, I think that the blush is really just a peach blush that had a couple of speckles on top. It was so beautiful. This blush is so pretty, like the actual design of it, that it took me years to start actually using it, because I was like, and I'm not normally someone who's precious with makeup or wanting it to look brand new, but this one just kind of got me like that. I was like, I could just keep it pristine forever. But yeah, I'm using it. It's pretty. I'm not using it every day because I sometimes use the pink and peach from my Focus palette, like my eyeshadow palette, in as blushes instead of this. But I do want to hit pan on this. That's the goal. I've used it a total of 15 times in this project. Okay, next up is the exciting one. This is a Too Faced mini of the Candlelight Glow blush highlight, sorry, in Rosy Glow. This I got, I want to say, in either 2017 or 2018. I got it secondhand already, but like barely used. I think someone maybe got it for free or as part of one of those like Christmas sets that Too Faced does. And I really thought back in 2018 that I would hit pan in it. I might have even thought that I was going to finish it, although I don't know if I was that crazy, but I definitely thought I was going to hit pan in it. And all these years later, using it intermittently, I focused on it that year in 2018, got nowhere with it. And years of like gradual use, nothing, until finally we have hit pan. Do you see it? This teeny tiny pan? This took so long. Oh my God. I mean, okay, in the context of the project, it took 8 uses, okay? But still, over the years, like, this really is enough highlighter to last me presumably the rest of my life at this rate. Because, like, I'm not a highlighter everyday kind of person. I mean, I'm not a makeup everyday person, and I'm not a highlighter everyday that I wear makeup person. This could last like forever, assuming it doesn't go off on me, which, I mean, I'm not someone who's too worried about that when it comes to powder products. I think they can last and last personally. But anyway, yeah, very happy that that finally has pan. Sorry, I have like a tight hair somewhere here. You know when you put your hair back and there's just something off? Also, no, I have this thing, whatever. It's I need to wash my hair, that's why it's up like this. So next up is the Peach Blur Powder. This has 19 uses, and I think it's looking quite used. I mean, like, I sort of thought it would be used up faster than this even, but I reckon like I'll definitely finish it by, I was about to say by the end of the year. Nothing is definite when it comes to stuff like this for me. I'm a slow panner in most respects. Who knows? I'll at least make very visible progress on it. It's totally fine. I obviously wouldn't repurchase it. I can't anyway because they don't make it anymore. It is very peachy, but I think for my skin tone, it just kind of blends in well enough. That's fine. It's not a super like effective powder. It's not going to get rid of all of the shine. So yeah, it'd probably actually be even better not in summer, because at the moment really I maybe do need something a bit more heavy duty if I wanted to not get shiny at all. But you know, I'm not that fast and that's good enough. Okay, next one is the Mint Melt Lip Gloss. This one as you can probably see, it's been lying on its side for a long time. And what that means for me is it's been in my makeup drawers for a long time. It's not really been in my handbag or my car. It's been in the drawers, as in my vanity. I haven't been using this that much, and it's because I might be able to use it up, but I might get sick of it. I'm not sure yet, because it does have a stickiness to it. Like this, I mean, it has an intense smell and cooling effect as well, because it's like chocolate mint. And that's what is kind of fun, is really the scent. I think that's what got me anyway. But the texture is a bit thinner and a bit stickier than what I like. It's not so much like plush hydrating. It's like, I don't know, just not great. I'm like rubbing my lips together as I'm wearing it. I'm not wearing it, so I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I've used it 7 times. I might end up rolling it out of the project. I'm not too sure. As in rolling it out, like eventually decluttering if I get sick of the texture? Or is the smell going to be good enough to sustain me? TBC, you know? Okay, next one is my Moon Sparkle perfume. This is like a little oil perfume I got in India. I don't have it here at the moment. I've just been using it at the gym whenever I feel a bit stinky because it's very sweet and quite strong, so I can just use it to like mask my smell. Like, it's a very simple perfume. It's not sort of one of my more complex or fancy ones, so gym is perfect for it. And I've used that one 10 times so far. Next is my setting spray, which is like obviously really close to being done, but I've only used it 6 times this year. 6 times in like 2.5 months. So obviously I'm not actually a huge setting spray person. I think I just like, it's a bit redundant because I'm not powdering with such a heavy powder that I then have to like take down the powderiness. Yeah, I did use it today like to help blend in because I decided not to use like I decided not to use this kind of BB cream foundation hybrid, whatever it is. Instead I just used concealer like here, kind of in like the center of my face, and then blended it out. So I used this to help it blend, like because the concealer is quite thick, you know, it made it a bit easier to spread around. But yeah, I maybe this will last me like the whole year because honestly I'm not using it that much, so yeah, that's fine anyway. All right, then the next one is my Smashbox Primer Mini. This like little green primer. I've only used it twice, so like no news. I forget that it's there, and I don't really use a primer because I use this sunscreen every morning, regardless of whether I wear makeup, and it feels like a primer for me. So the idea of putting yet another product on this and then putting on base, I'm like, nah, too much, you know? I'll still try and finish this, but like it just might be gradual. Shadow Insurance is going pretty well. I mean, you can see it's really like getting squeezed out. This I've used 13 times. So not all the time that I'm wearing eyeshadow, although I definitely see the difference. I'm someone who has like, you can see I've got a very deep crease in my eyelid. Like, it's not just like a little baby crease, it's like right in there. So I get creasing when I wear eyeshadow, if I'm not wearing a primer, and sometimes still if I do wear a primer eventually. But I think this one's great. I do have the Milani one that everyone says is a dupe for this, and I would agree, and that's the one that I'll continue using when this is used up. But I think this one, like, I'm probably on track to finish. Yeah, God, I mean, this is one of those things that people always think they're done and they're not done. Definitely going to finish it by the end of the year, maybe by mid-year, don't know. Okay, then the last 2 products, maybe I'll put up photos of them. I'll try and put photos of them up because one of them's in my car and I use it as like my car lip balm, and the other one's in my work handbag and I use it at work. So that is the e.l.f. Hydrating Core Lip Shine that I like dug out the bottom of when I hit the, you know, like the level of it. I hit the level of the plastic on that stick last year, and then dug it out and put it into like a heart compact that I had that was empty. And then I am also using the Trixie Cosmetics Gingerbread Lip Oil. So I'll put up progress photos. The Hydrating Core Lip Shine I have used 23 times, and the Trixie Lip Oil I've used 35 times, which really speaks to the fact that like it's the one that I'm using at work, it's what I grabbed for, and then I also have to reapply quite often because it wears off pretty quickly on me. So that's like, yeah, all of my progress for now. Once I finish my base product, this one, I'll probably roll in whatever else I have left in my collection. I don't even really remember. I think I have still a Colourpop one as well, as in a Colourpop BB cream, and then I'll continue to mix this in and make some sort of other hybrid mishmash to eventually finish all my base products. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of the direction I'm headed in. Everything else I think I'm just going to have to continue working on for the rest of the year pretty much. I think these things are going to be in it for the long haul. And yeah, I hope you find it interesting anyway. Let me know if you're also doing like a full-faced project pan. I find that just having one every year is a good way to just like have a default set of makeup. I know some people prefer to have like monthly or seasonal rotations, but I think it's like if you're kind of only half awake, you know, it's just your go-to, and then obviously you can play around with a bunch of other stuff when you want to. Anyway, I hope you're all going really well, and I will see you soon for my focus palette, for my Pan That palette update. That'll be the next video coming, I'm pretty sure. Alright, see you next time. Bye.